I'm here with Diane today. We've got a beautiful day here in, I guess it's March now. You've got two pieces of equipment here that I'm going to be asking about a little bit. One is a collector and one is a spreader. So you're focused on specifically managing your grass surfaces for grazing and other things. Why do you look to pick up manure and then put it back down, for lack of better words?
Well, the main reason, of course, is to pick up the manure, to get it out of the pastures,
Yep.
and so then I can get it placed into the manure pit.
Yeah.
So at that point, once I get enough manure in there, it's filled up enough, I can go and get my tractor and easily dump it into the spreader. Then I can take it out, either take it outside of the pasture or in front of the house, so we can have fertilizer to grow the grass. And
Got plenty of grass around here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So this piece right here does what exactly? It's focused on picking up manure piles?
You set it at a certain height,
Mhm.
so when you're in the pasture, the tines will break it up, and then the brush will collect it into the area where the manure gets thrown into. And then once you get to a point where it's filled enough, then what I do is I'll take it back to the manure pit, and then start over again.
That makes sense. So you have a manure pit where you're composting the manure and then spreading it back out, picking it up here so that it's not sitting in specific piles. The amount of land that you're working with here for the amount of animals that you have, is that a pretty large factor in why you're doing things this way?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And in the summertime, I'll cycle the pastures for the horses, and so I can collect, in certain pastures that I'm done, and then spread manure from that, cycle them through the season. So so the manure, if not picked up completely, it'll still spread it enough where it'll
kind of smoothing it out a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're focused a lot more on managing the specific areas that you have so that they're at their healthiest for laying down and having lush green grass as opposed to letting spots die out. Is that kind of the gist of what you're getting at with this system that you're working here?
Yes, it is.
So looking at these two units, I see you have two different vehicles to pull here, which I like a lot because this one is, I assume, your full-time lawnmower.
It is.
And then you can pull this system just because it's ground driven. Here we have your side-by-side that you're pulling the spreader with. So you can load with a tractor, pull with a side-by-side and a mower. That way you're not detaching all the time, which is really beneficial just because these are both ground-driven implements. Is that kind of what you're doing?
Yes, and with the mower, since the weight of the spreader can get pretty heavy, I have the 4-wheel.
Yeah.
And so that helps spread.
Borrowing a couple questions from our friends at Tow and Collect, any tips or hints that you'd have for anybody looking to buy a manure spreader that you'd say definitely do this or ask this or order this that you'd have to recommend for somebody looking?
Yeah, I think the main thing is to get the correct size. Yeah. And where you intend on spreading it. So for the amount of manure that you're going to be spreading, and what size loader you have to load it in.
To make sure that your loader's dumping directly in, and I remember you saying this earlier, that you need enough power and traction to pull.
Yes, that's correct.
The weight of the spreader, if I remember this weighs roughly 600 pounds plus material, so a fair amount of weight that you're going to be pulling around your property.
Yeah.
When you're considering a ground drive spreader, a small one, you're obviously not like a full-fledged farm here.
Right.
So it's not like you have full-time workers who are out running big pieces of equipment. So you're dependent on ground drive, able to be pulled by the machinery that you have around, not necessarily a big tractor. So that would play into the ease of use, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'd love to, if you don't mind, get to see you operate maybe one or both of these pieces of equipment just so that we can understand a little bit of your process and show that to others who are interested.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thanks, Diane.